Okay, so I just wanted to go over with you a little bit and show you how to calculate molar mass for substances. You want to know that molar mass is interchangeable with the term formula mass, and we'll use those both ways. You'll hear both of those. You want to remember that molar mass or formula mass is the number of grams in 1 mole of a substance. In chemistry, we focus on 3 kinds of substances. We have atoms, and those are single elements. For example, oxygen. We have molecules, which are a single unit of a molecular compound. For example, water. And then the last kind of substance that we talk about are formula units. And formula units are the single unit for an ionic compound, and I've given you an example of each. So an example of a molecule is water, or H2O, and an example of a formula unit, an ionic compound, is Li2O, lithium oxide. Molar mass is really simple when all you have is a single element. If I am focused on oxygen, let's just look at O, then I am going to look at the atomic mass on the periodic table. Atomic mass is found underneath the element symbol on the periodic table, and that is 16.00 grams. That means there are 16.00 grams of oxygen in 1 mole of oxygen, so 16.0 grams equals 1 mole. For molecules, we have to take into account every atom that is present in the molecule. We know that in water, based on the subscripts, we have 2 hydrogens and we have 1 oxygen. If you take and substitute in the atomic mass of the element where you have 2H substituted in for the H, substituted in for the oxygen, so 2 times the atomic mass of hydrogen, and we want to use the atomic mass on the periodic table to 2 decimal places, so 2 times 1.01 plus 1 times the atomic mass of oxygen on the periodic table is 15.998, and you round it to 16.00 to get to 2 decimal places. 2 times 1.01 is 2.02, plus 1 times 16 gives me 16.00, and when I add these two together, I get 18.02 grams. So there are 18.02 grams of water in or equal to 1 mole of water. Lastly, the formula unit, lithium oxide, you do exactly the same. You look at the fact that there are 2 lithium atoms in the compound and 1 oxygen atom in the compound. You're going to 2 times the atomic mass of lithium, which is 6.94, plus 1 times the atomic mass of oxygen, which is 16.00. 2 times 6.94 is 13.88 plus 16.00, and when I add these two together, I get 29.88 grams of lithium oxide, and that equals or is 1 mole of lithium oxide. So a couple of important things to walk away with. First of all, the units is grams, and we are looking at molar mass, the mass in 1 mole. So I have grams in or equal to 1 mole. When you are taking the atomic mass from the periodic table, you want to round to 2 places after the decimal, and you want to remember to take into account your subscripts. You have to take into account the fact that there are 2 hydrogens, so you have to do 1.01 for the first hydrogen and 1.01 for the second hydrogen. So be careful to take your subscripts into account.